Hello, CJD here. We're back, and as promised, I've got some news. This will be quite a long video, starting with a development showcase, and we'll end it off with a Q&A based on questions we've been asked in our official server, and of course, a closing statement. Let's start off with a gameplay discussion. Infinity Abyss will start as it should, at Orth. You will start with cash to begin grinding after the tutorial is over, likely starting your first run into the Abyss immediately on a predictable route. As you scale down, your route exponentially increases in difficulty of traverse. One way or another, you will die for the first time. You'll either try again or look to changing your strategy if one was already formulated at this point. To aid you, you will have bought a bag and sufficient starting resources. Orth may offer scarce amounts of these to harvest. Layer 1 can be searched, and its loot can be more easily sold at a higher price at Orth. NPCs may give you quests for extra cash, and of course, your character will grow stronger and their stats will increase. These are permanent. The deeper you go, the higher your whistle rank will become, which comes with its own perks, like mob calling and shop item unlocks. Now, I know this doesn't clarify a whole lot, so let's start with the questions in our Q&A. Zero, where can I ask questions not on this list? As usual, you can join the official NeuroCube server, link in the description, and ask a question in our Q&A channel once you've been verified and it is visible for you. Number 1, how difficult will the game be? The game will be quite daunting at first, and difficulty only scales higher with layer. Each layer aims to throw a new trick at the player. Some layers will even combine these ideas to gauge your knowledge. Speaking of difficulty, one of the things that will contribute to it is PvP. So number 2, could you specify how PvP will be done? PvP is enabled the moment you leave Orth. You will drop your loot on death to either be reclaimed or looted. You can combat this by saving for better starting gear bought from Orth, which in the right hands could be used to combat relic users to a certain extent. Creating a party or taking a different route to avoid PvP altogether is also pretty valid. Number 3, will there be different origins/starting points? This includes races. Taking different routes can be seen as a new starting point. Races have been suggested, and there are modules and statistics that support this feature if we ever do decide to fully implement it, but on release, probably not. Number 4, how will restarting/respawning work? Will there be checkpoints? If you die, you'll lose all your items and respawn back at Orth. The only things that are kept are your knowledge, character statistics, and whistle rank. Checkpoints might not end up being a thing, but there are areas that may be peaceful, so in other words, PvP is turned off. 2 examples being Orth, that's an obvious one, and if we ever do add it, Irubiru might also be a checkpoint where you can sell items with other players, giving an extra bit of context for having cash and bringing it down with you into the Abyss. Moving on, what are the system requirements to play and what devices are supported? I suggest 8 RAM or higher and an AMD Ryzen 5 7530U processor or better. Or for those of you who don't speak computer, you can just play the game. If you can run a 64-bit program like Roblox, you're probably fine. As for device support, this game is a pure computer game. Console and mobile devices were looked at and our UI layout is compact enough for it, but we likely won't lean into this on early release. Bit of a side tangent, but one person asked this and I'm glad they did. Number 6, will there be external areas outside of Orth for the player to explore, i.e. Beluska? Every fiber of my being wants this. If I cannot fully implement it as a traversable space, you'll at least see these other locations outside of Orth as distant land masses. So, purely for show, unfortunately, but we'll see what I can do. Number 7, what is the vision for this game? Currently, we don't know. The only thing that's for sure is we'd like to exceed the expectations and standards set by Binary Star. Me personally, I'd want a slow-paced survival and exploration game, combat only serving to enrich and complicate the experience of wandering the Abyss. I'd want fast-paced elements to introduce themselves as an alternative, not to make the game easier, but to give players options on how they'd like to play. If I can wander around with my party as their chef, prepare food, tackle extreme inclines of cliff faces, and slay pre-medieval beasts, I I'm good, regardless of how crude it might end up being. I suppose I'd also want every moment to be screenshot worthy, but I suppose that's my role as technical artist speaking. But to be fair, I think I'm not the only one who'd want that. And finally, number 8. When will the game release, and on release, what am I to expect? I believe we've answered this question enough times for at least half of you to have seen it, but the probable release date is the first day, week, and month of the year 2025. Obviously, this will be an early release, littered with placeholders and missing features, and it will likely take a couple days to work things out. If the date isn't hit, no sweat. As stated in my first Q&A, it'll arrive when it does, whenever that is. Like I said in the other video, since the release of the Q&A, my speedrun video jumped from like 12k views to well over 100,000 views. My channel has essentially quadrupled in sub count. We're up to 200 something. We're 300 subs away from YouTube unlocks that'll make it a whole lot easier to make sure you're notified of Infinity Abyss's release. We might lose determination along the way to keep going, but that would be the only thing to stop us from at least getting an early release done. But I suppose to combat this is where I can ask you for your help. To make sure I don't waste anyone's time, we cannot pay. If you are passionate and you want to see a game that actually competes with an official release, quality-wise, we are looking for solid developers, and I'm going to be frank with all of you, the level of talent we're looking for isn't, oh, I do this as a hobby occasionally. We need people who have found things about the Roblox engine that few have, made things that alone should have earned you at least 1,000 or so visits on your profile. Right now, what we need is the following. We need programmers, be it front-end or back-end. We need people who have experience in mesh work. Things like cage clothing we definitely absolutely need for clothing items in-game. We need map makers who understand the monotonous process of making massive maps. I'm talking 1,000 to 3,000 studs in diameter and depth. And yes, we will ask things of you, which we'll do ourselves. I like topology, but I also like low vert counts, as well as understand compromise. If you know you're up for it, join our server and get to know us. Use the art channel and simply type dev reveal, and you will be observed, and if you're interested, you'll have a spot on our team. Now, because this is a passion project, I highly recommend that when you are added to the team, to only do things you are willing to do for free. No more, no less. I understand someone else's self-worth. Use this game as your portfolio to show off, to help pay off your time if you need to. In fact, I'll actually put your media links in the description of future videos once we get comfortable with you. I do not mind showcasing other people's work. That's kind of the whole point of this channel to begin with. It was supposed to be a studio channel with multiple people advertising their own work. I don't think I mind going abroad with advertising. Technically that was the closing statement, but I might as well add a little bit extra. Thank you everyone for your patience, though I hate to say it, the wait will be quite a bit longer. But might we make it to the ends of the seemingly bottomless abyss, and may we meet there to play an incredible fan game.